Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Let's talk about the right mindset you need to leave your 9-to-5 job. So guys, you have to realize that having the ability to leave your job is a luxury, not a necessity. So being someone who is able to be free and live life on their terms is something that you need to work hard for up front to enjoy the long-term benefits of, right? Everyone wants freedom. Everyone wants the results. Everyone wants time off. Everyone wants to have no stress, not deal with people, not have to, do things that they don't want to do. But not a lot of people want to put in the amount of work that is required for that, and not a lot of people want to sacrifice and go through the process of actually dealing with the trials and tribulations that come with leaving your 9-to-5 job and living life on your terms. But there are some key things you have to internalize and accept and understand in the beginning, right? When you decide that you want more out of life and you decide that the path set out for you by society is not going to be suitable for your long-term career, right? So you have to understand first off that you're not just going to be able to one day just wake up after watching this video or watching someone else and just be able to leave, right? Like that's not something that you're just going to be able to do right off the bat, because we have bills to pay, we have things to, we have kids, we have girlfriends, we have wives, we have necessities, rent, everything that requires us to pay to live, right? So with that being said, the first thing to internalize is that you need to have extra income, right? That's going to be something that you need, right? In the beginning, you need to work to have extra income every month, right? Because what that's going to do is that's going to put you in a position to be able to invest, to either do one of two things or both. And that is invest in someone who can teach you how to do what they did, or number two, to buy assets that pay you in the long run, right? So that could be paper assets such as stocks, crypto, that could be rental properties, but you need to first internalize that you are going to need to have extra money at the end of each month to invest in those two things. So that's number one. Number two is you have to realize that working a job, right? You can't just leave, right? So you have to understand that it's going to take time, right? Number two is all about you being patient and you seeing things through, right? So when you're working on your business, when you get home, or when you're doing the thing that is required of you, right, in your spare time, and you don't see the immediate results, you have to not quit. You have to not give up. You have to not let the doubt and let the stories you tell yourself on why you can't achieve the life you want get to you and stop you from doing that thing. So with that being said, a lot of you guys have this weird fixation that, there's just supposed to be immediate results within the next few months or even a couple years. And I'm here to tell you that any person that has achieved great results or a certain lifestyle that is not achieved by many has had to deal with times where things weren't necessarily going afloat, right? Where they've had to be patient, where they've had to be persistent. And with that being said, I think it's important for you guys to not only work on your thing or whatever it is every single day, but in those times where you don't see results, or in those times where maybe you're seeing growth, but the growth is slow, that it's important to keep pushing, right? And I mentioned a little while ago, back in one of my recent videos, that I started YouTube in 2018, right? And it's only up until about 6 months ago where I decided that, hey man, you know what? Throughout the past 5 years, I've really not been true to my desires. Meaning, I had the desire to, be a YouTuber and influence people and, speak my mind help people be better in every way, but I wasn't committing to that every day. I would upload for a couple weeks or a couple months, and then next thing you know, I'm nowhere to be found, for another 6 months or 8 months. So, how you doing, man? So I realized, like, hey, like, if I'm gonna be like on point, then I need to do this every day, and I need to stop being a flake, right? Because that's really what it was in the beginning when I first started. You guys can go back like 6 years ago, and you'll see like 2018, between like 2018 and 2023, really, you'll see that I've had like 2 months where I would go hard and then I would stop, and then I would go back, right? I would upload every day for like a month or two, and then I'd stop, right? So you're gonna have times in life where you struggle, right? Like there were certain things that I had to get out of the way before I really committed to this. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm being very vulnerable here, but a big reason why I continued to struggle at the time was because I was living at home, right? And I absolutely hated living at home, right? And I knew that, if I'm gonna get out of this situation, if I'm going to do the thing that I wanna do, I need to get away from my parents, right? And my parents were honestly a big reason why, I don't wanna blame people or blame my circumstances, because you never really wanna do that. But, they were a big reason why in the beginning, I struggled, because, there would be times where I'd be uploading a video or trying to communicate and, talk about something, and my dad would walk in me and, just question like what I'm doing, and trying to say that I should be doing something else, or, shut that camera off, or, just things that were derogatory, right? In the sense that, like, it wasn't constructive at all, and it wasn't helping me, and it just made me realize that at the time I needed to focus and save my money on to help me pay for an apartment or a condo or something to get me out of my parents' environment, right? And that's brings me to my next point, is that you need to get away from people who are not willing to accept what you do, right? And I made a video a few days ago talking about why you should never tell people about your dreams or your goals or your aspirations. And I truly believe that, if you tell people what you want out of your life and it's not, traditional or accepted by most people, then you're just gonna hear the criticism constantly from them, and it'll discourage you, right? So in that sense, it was kind of my fault, right? That I told him, or I told people, I was boastful about, my dreams and everything. So that's my fault. But in the immediate sense, there's going to be times where you have to focus on certain things before you can get to doing what you really want to do. I had to move out of my parents' house. I had to get out of that negative environment. I had to live on my own and, create my own identity, and, just step more into my adulthood and step more into what I know that I'm capable of, and not what my parents want, right? And our parents are kind of like our survival, like we need them for survival in our early years. But honestly, man, like once you get to be 18 to, between 18 and like 25, I feel like even 25 is kind of late. You need to work on getting away from that as soon as possible. Because people will hold you back, right? And, your parents, they want the best for you. But like I said, no matter what, some people just never want to see you do better than them, right? And I don't understand that, because, especially coming from your parents, you'd think like, hey, they'd be like, go son, or even, they'd try to figure out ways to help you, or they'd like send you like links to like, like bring up things that you might be interested in that would help you. But that wasn't the case for me. And, maybe for some of you guys, it's not the case, and it's discouraging, and it's not helping you get there quicker. So at the end of the day, I think everyone needs to break away from their parents as soon as possible. And I don't want to hear the excuse of like that you don't have enough money or you don't have the resources, because anyone can live with roommates. I know roommates aren't the best. I know that living with people you don't know is kind of uncomfortable. And I know that some people are messy and dirty and this and that, but I'll tell you this, living with people that don't know you, that'll leave you alone, is better than living with people who are derogatory and feel like they have control over you, feeling like that they need to have control over you, right? Because your parents subconsciously, no matter how much they say they may love you, want to feel like they're your authority, right? That they have authority over you and what they say goes. And to the degree they're right, because when you live in their house, they're paying the bills, right? So, you kind of have to do what they say. But like I said, that's not a way for an adult to live, right? Once we get to be 18, between 18, 20, 22, 21, 22, 23, it's like, bro, you got to get out of that as soon as possible. And I think the best way to do that is, like I said, live with roommates if you have to. Or bro, like honestly, you can just leave. You can leave the United States, right? Not everyone can do that, but you can live for $500 a month in Thailand, $750 a month in Colombia. You can live cheaply in these places, right? And like I said, I made a video also last week titled "Why Every Young Man Should Move Out of His Hometown," right? You need to get away from people. You need to create your own sense of identity. You need new experiences, right? And this will definitely help you as it pertains to escaping the 9-to-5 rat race, because like I said, you only have so much space in your mind every single day to think about certain things, to think about your job, to think about your diet, to think about your life, your future, your past, your present circumstances. And if you see your parents every single day, right, no matter how much you may not agree with them, their ideas are still going to be influencing you on a subconscious level. So it's important to get away from people like that, right? Even if they say they love you, like I said, if they really loved you, like I said, they would really support your growth and what you want to do, no matter how unconventional it may appear. But like I said, if they're not going to support you, you have to go your own way, right? Same thing applies to friends, right? Same thing applies to friends. If your friends don't support you, leave them, right? Guys, you'd be surprised like how many people you can like live without. Like, you really don't need friends. You don't need family members. You don't need, like, society brainwashes us to think that we need like all these people around us and a bunch of girls, and like, what are you doing if you're alone? Like, you should have a social life. You should be spending time with your family. You should be out with friends. You should be doing this, doing that. And at the end of the day, that's just a recipe for disaster, because no matter what people say, that's just going to get to your head, and it's going to influence you in such a way that it doesn't really solve your problems. Because I'm going on a rant here, but when we are with other people, a lot of the times we're just trying to escape our discomfort of being bored or lonely, right? So it's not like, hey, we're seeking out friendships because we need something tangible that we can learn to help us better ourselves. It's, no, I just want to be around this person because I'm lonely or I'm bored, right? So, like I said, that's a whole nother topic of conversation. But yeah, so like I said, let's recap here real quick. Number one is you want to break out of the mindset that things are going to be easy. Like, you'll just be able to like one day just drop it, and next thing you know, like, you're free and you can do whatever you want. At the end of the day, you have to work, right? No matter what it is, you have to do something of value to other human beings. You have to serve value in some way to other people, right? And that may be, it doesn't matter what it is, or it doesn't matter how you do it, but you have to do it, right? And the faster you internalize that, the faster you realize that, the more you can realize that, hey, it's possible for me as long as I bring value to people in some fashion, right? And it literally could be anything. So understand that first. And then what was number two? I think number two was understanding, know that you have to have extra money coming in, right? So like I said, first you have to uncondition your mind from the wage slavery system and how you're going to do it. And then you have to have extra money a month, every single month, saved every month, because you're going to need mentors. You're going to need people to show you how to do things. And there's a paywall, right? There is a paywall because, hey man, people don't give their value out for free, right? I mean, they can, but hey, we got to support each other. So, you know, you have to have extra money to invest, whether that's in assets, whether that's in mentors, right? People who can show you how to do something to cut your learning curve, right? And, you know, if you do those things, if you invest wisely and you invest properly, you'll get there a lot sooner than if you were just gonna like say, hey, you know, I'm gonna try this on my own and figure it out on my own. As much as, you know, I'm a very self-sufficient person, I like to try to figure things out on my own. But that comes at a curse, because there's things that you can't see that other people have done and gone through that they can already see you making a mistake, right? And they can already see you falling, and that's why they're there, to help you not fall, right? You're gonna fall, right? But you want someone to be there that's been there, that can help you up and show you what you did incorrectly and how you can improve next time, so that you succeed and don't make that same mistake, right? So hey, how you doing? So yeah, and then finally, you have to break away from people, right? Break away from as many people as you have to, right? Because like I said, a lot of us who are young, the people that we're surrounded with are just people that were there because of our birth. Like, think of when you were born, right? You're with your family, you're with the circle of friends in your class or grade, right? So you need to get away from those people, right? Or the town that you were born in, right? I grew up in a town with 10,000 people, right? That's not a very inspiring environment. I didn't love living there, right? So you have to get away from people. And then also, last thing, you have to, no matter what, commit to doing the damn thing every day, right? Even if you're inconsistent in the beginning, you have to commit to do the thing every day. So even though I struggled for years, being consistent on here and uploading and being innovative and finding new ideas, I understood that if I'm going to be successful at the thing, I have to do it every day, right? And the results are starting to pay off now. Like, I'm starting to finally get some momentum and traction, thank God. But it's only because I decided back in June that I need to do this every day if I'm going to be serious, because I thought about obviously becoming my own boss and leaving my job and living life on my terms. But at the end of the day, if I'm not going to be willing to like upload content every day, or more consistently than once every 2 months or 3 months or 6 months, then I'm kidding myself and I'm really BSing myself. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that's very foundational for a lot of people. Of course, there's more tweaks to it, and there's more details to be shared. But I think from a foundational perspective, I think all of these things can help you in your transformation as it pertains to breaking out of the 9-to-5 mindset and transitioning into self-employment and living life on your terms. Because a lot of us are really fed up with work. We're fed up with bad coworkers. We're fed up with bosses. We're fed up with having to be somewhere at a certain time when we'd rather be doing something else, you know, losing sleep, having you know, just dealing with stress, dealing with things we don't want to deal with. And we, you know, it's our birthright to be free, right? So I think if you internalize these concepts and begin to implement them, I think you can see a lot of potential and transformation in your life. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below. And as always, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.